Hits it high and deep to right. Way back it goes. Goal! A walk-off winner for Pedro Alvarez. And the Pirates win it 8-7. How do you like that? El Toro strikes big time.
And we are back at the scene of last night's thrilling ball game. It's another Kids Day, Sunday afternoon. Replica batting helmets being given out on one of the best giveaway days for the youngsters in the 2010 season. Gorgeous day on the North Shore as we get you sent for Game 4 of this 4-game weekend series between the Pirates and the Colorado Rockies. Hi again, everybody, with John Wehner. I'm Tim Neverett. Pedro Alvarez, first major league walk-off hit. It's a game-winning home run in the bottom of the 10th inning.
Yeah, we heard he did it a lot in his minor league career. He's done it for the first time as a big leaguer, and how exciting it was. One of those games that's going to be hard to forget, like John Milner against Tug McGraw, like Brian Giles against Billy Wagner. Those games just stick out in your memory for a long time. But great to see. Hopefully we can have a nice game again today.
Pedro, our PNC achievement for the achiever in us all. News from the Pirates coaching staff today. Pitching coach Joe Kerrigan and bench coach Gary Varsho have been relieved of their duties.
Boy, what a shocker for us this morning to hear about Kerrigan and Varsho. These guys have been here for 2.5 years, and they certainly have left their mark with a lot of players here in Pittsburgh. But obviously there's been some issues internally, so they'll be replaced, and we'll see what we have ahead of us.
Esmiel Rogers will pitch against Paul Maholm today, and will Garrett Jones continue to rake against Colorado, doing his own version of the Mile High Salute. Lineups and first pitch coming up next.
FSN Pittsburgh is brought to you by PNC. PNC for the achiever in us all. By Barrel Automotive. Barrel.com. Definitely worth the click. And by your Toyota dealer, where quality, dependability, and good MPG all come standard. Toyota, moving forward.
Great day at PNC Park for this fourth and final game of the series between the Rockies and the Pirates. Let's get right to Jim Tracy's lineup, brought to you by Toyota. Toyota moving forward. Tracy will send out the switch-hitting center fielder Dexter Fowler to lead off. Clint Barmas in the 2 spot. Carlos Gonzalez has been amazing this year. He's now the National League's leading hitter. Troy Tulowitzki, top hitting shortstop. Mora, Ionetta, Spilborn, Stewart, and Esmil Rogers, the pitcher. Underway, and the first pitch of the ball game is a strike to Dexter Fowler.
And here's Paul Maholm looking for his 6th win here at home. Picked up a win against Cincinnati, going 6+.
Fowler fouls this one away, 0-2. Interesting, we've had 2 replays here in the last 2 nights. And 2 nights ago, Fowler had a triple that was called a home run. Almost got stuck between the padding and the back wall in center field. And the review showed that it stayed in the ballpark. Ended up with a triple. And last night, Andrew McCutchen went to right center, had a double, called a home run. The review showed it stayed in the ballpark, so he had a double. So 2 nights, 2 replays involving both center fielders. Fowler got that trend going.
That one last night was hard to tell, even with the replay. You know, I know we showed a number of different views. Hard to tell where it actually hit the fan and whether or not it would have left the park. It almost looked like it would have hit the top of the wall, perhaps, and maybe went out. But
2-2. Just missed. Well, usually Pittsburgh fans are better on defense than that.
Yeah.
The fan kind of whiffed on it. Had he caught it, it would have been a easier to tell.
It's because he had a glove. Usually the Pittsburgh fans that make the great catches are gloveless.
Use their bare hands. Payoff pitch. Fouled away. Calling the balls and strikes today is Eric Cooper. Mike Riley, the crew chief, is at first base. Bill Miller at second. And Todd Tishner is back of third. Final game of this homestand. Pirates off tomorrow. Fowler lifts this one foul down the first base side. Jeff Clement giving it a look. And it'll go into the seats. Pirates will travel to San Diego tomorrow. Open up a 3-game series with the Padres on Tuesday night. So get your rest and make sure you stay up late with us from the West Coast this week. Ray Searage is now the pitching coach for the remainder of the season after Joe Kerrigan was let go today, and Gary Varsho, the bench coach, also let go. Jeff Bannister will take over for him as the interim bench coach. So Fowler a leadoff walk, and behind Paul Maholm in the field today, Jose Tabata in left, Andrew McCutchen in center, and Garrett Jones starting in right field today. Jeff Clement gets a start at first base. Walker Cedeno Alvarez, and then Ryan Domick doing the catching. Jeff Clement making his first start since returning from the minor leagues a week ago. Carlos Garcia, the infield coach, told me today, we're looking at the lineup card together in the clubhouse. Very close at first. And he pointed at Clement and said, "This man is on a mission."
He has been with a bat since he's been back. Looked real comfortable with the plate. A couple of long balls.
I think you like his swing, the adjustments, a little shorter to the ball.
Much shorter, much quicker, much more direct path.
Clint Barmas looks to bunt. That pitch misses. Fowler the leadoff walk. He's at first base, and Barmas a .252 hitter. Moves up in the order. He'd been hitting at the bottom of the order, hitting in the 8th spot the last 2 games. In game 1 of this series on Thursday night, he did bat in the 2-hole. And Seth Smith was the leadoff hitter. Smith on the bench today. And a strike call.
It seems like it's been a while since Garrett Jones has been in the outfield as well. A little bit of an adjustment for him.
Last time he started out there, June 11th.
It's been a while. I was a year younger.
You were, that's right. Yeah, You've matured a lot since Garrett Jones' last start. And Blasting's Millage off today.
Yeah, my boy wasn't my chauffeur last time, Garrett Jones. I got a chauffeur nowadays.
Very close at first. Again, there's Fowler getting a big lead. So he got his license after.
Permit.
Oh, his permit. Okay.
Quick step-off move. And when you're a base runner at first base and you got a lefty up there, and you're trying to read his move, trying to get a good jump, but when you get a pitcher that has that quick step-off move, it'll shorten you up for sure, especially when it's that close over there.
Paul Maholm out of Mississippi State pitches well at PNC Park. Hoping to have another good outing. Last time he pitched on a Sunday afternoon, it was against the Houston Astros. He pitched a complete game shutout. Low to Barmes. 3-1. Paul getting behind here in the top half of the first. 75 starts here, 28-20. He and Zach Duke tied for the most number of wins at PNC Park by a starting pitcher. Count full 3-2.
Looking down at the Pirates dugout, see John Russell on the step there. He's relaying the signs to the catcher Ryan Doman as far as what Paul's to do as far as throwing over or stepping off, or if there were to be a pitch out, obviously not in a 3-2 count, but that was Gary Varsho's job, giving the signs ever since Gary was here.
Dexter Fowler took off, but the pitch popped up. Neil Walker backpedaling, makes the catch, and there is one down. Back to first goes Fowler. Well, I've not seen Jeff Bannister here. We see him on the road occasionally. Pretty much every time we go to Houston. He lives nearby. And he had been here at PNC Park in recent days, but I've not seen him here today.
Yeah, we returned to Houston, and I'm sure Jeff Bannister will be pretty happy about that for the first time being officially on the big league staff.
He would be in uniform when
sure,
and in the dugout when we were there. A little close at first again. Fowler really pushing the envelope as far as his lead. He knows exactly how far he can get off.
Yep, and he was in between steps, which makes it even more difficult to get back.
Fowler with 11 steals in 17 attempts. Carlos Gonzalez takes a strike. Gonzalez, after his effort last night, where he came up with a couple of more hits, now has taken over the lead in the National League in batting average at .321. He is just ahead of Placido Polanco of Philadelphia. Polanco starts the day at .320. Joey Votto's dropped down to .318. To center field, well hit, going back. McCutchen, he looks up. Unbelievable. 2-run home run for Carlos Gonzalez. The hottest hitter in baseball has just hit his 25th home run, and it is 2-0 Colorado.
And I'm running out of adjectives to describe Carlos Gonzalez. I mean, we saw it last year against the Pirates as he was a rookie. Just a couple of weeks ago when we were in Denver. A hanging breaking ball, he just stays with it, and that ball didn't get that high off the ground. It's just a line drive that goes some 400 feet. Just impressive power.
In his last 10-plus games, including that at bat, he has 8 home runs, 14 runs batted in, and has scored 15 times.
He's not a very big guy. He's not huge by any stretch, but you got to see him go upper tank in Denver. Incredible.
Troy Tulowitzki fouls it away. And Gonzalez, #1 in batting average. He is on the home runs list. He's just moved up a couple of notches. Now 4th in home runs, tied with Dan Uggla of Florida and Mark Reynolds of Arizona with 25. And he has pulled ahead of Corey Hart of Milwaukee in runs batted in, just under Adam Dunn of Washington with 76.
And I know since he was in town, they talk about Joey Votto and Triple Crown numbers. he has competition. We got two guys that are flirting with the Triple Crown. He keeps going the way he's going. Gonzalez, wow.
2-1. Tulowitzki, a chopper to the right side. Walker gloves and throws him out 2 away. So Neil Walker with the infield assist. 2 men out. And you talk about some other numbers, John. 132 hits. Gonzalez second in hits. He is now second in total bases as he's passed Adam Dunn, just behind Albert Pujols. There was some talk in the Denver media the other day about Gonzalez being an MVP candidate, and the longer the month of August continues this way for him, I think you've got to put him up there as a real serious contender.
Sure. Especially if Colorado gets back into the race. I think if they, finish third, fourth place, I don't think he'd get as much consideration. But if he's up around, the Rockies are first or second, sure, he might be the leading candidate.
You look at the wild card, 5.5 out for Colorado to start the day. They've still got to take a look at 3 teams in front of them: St. Louis, Philadelphia, and San Francisco. 1-1. It's inside to Melvin Mora, playing first base today. San Diego, the top team in the West, 6.5 in front of Colorado to start action today. So still a possibility for a divisional title in the West. The West is a very tight race. You've got San Francisco a game back of San Diego. Colorado 6.5 back, and the Dodgers 7 back. Arizona 21 back, but it's really a 4-team race in that 5-team division still. Jim Tracy took over last year in May and took him to the postseason. 2 of the last 3 years Colorado's been in the postseason. 3-1 to Mora. Strike 2 called. Mora was on his way. He'd already paid his cab fare to first base.
Yes, he did. And taking a look at it, looked like perhaps could have been a bit off the plate, but
3-2. Maholm dealing the payoff pitch. Inside ball 4. So he paid for the ride, and he'll get it now. As Mora's down first, 2-out walk. Second walk issued in the inning for Paul Maholm.
And the new pitching coach needs to get Maholm in the strike zone. Ray Searage, happy for Ray. He's toiled a long time in the minor leagues, wearing a bunch of different hats, whether it be pitching coach in A-ball, rookie ball, up to AAA, pitching coordinator. Certainly has paid his dues, the former big league left-hander.
He's the only guy I know recently to have a left-handed catcher's mitt.
Yeah.
He brings the catcher's mitt out on the field with him to warm up. It's been a long time since Benny DiStefano caught me.
Yeah, that's the first person that came to mind was Benny DiStefano.
Left-handed catcher. Outfielder mostly. Chris Iannetta from Rhode Island. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Searage pitched 7 seasons with the Mets, Brewers, White Sox, and Dodgers.
Paul Maholm, typically, for a sinker baller, when he struggles, it's usually when he has too much movement on his sinker. He just can't control it. He can't keep it in the strike zone. Ends up falling behind in the count. And, when he has to go and catch too much plate, he ends up getting in trouble. I'm not sure if that's the case here this afternoon, but certainly early on in this ball game, a lot of long counts. See already 30 pitches in his first inning. Another 3-ball count here to Iannetta.
2 runs are in on the 2-run shot by Carlos Gonzalez. Leadoff walk to Fowler, and that paid off for Colorado as he came around to score. And a strike and another full count. A runner at first. Melvin Mora will be off with the pitch. Chris Iannetta, 217 hitters, puts the catching duties with Miguel Olivo. Olivo getting more at bats at that position. There goes the runner. Ground ball towards second base. Neil Walker gloves and throws him out. 2 runs in on the home run by Carlos Gonzalez. A long top of the first for Paul Maholm. Second, Neil Walker third. Garrett Jones in the cleanup spot. Pedro Alvarez fifth. Ryan Domas back in the lineup. Jeff Clement 3 for 6 since his recall from Indianapolis with a pair of home runs. Ronnie Cedeno hitting in the 8-hole and Paul Maholm pitching and batting ninth against Esmail Rogers.
And for Rogers, making his 4th career big league start, 3rd this year. As you see the numbers, his first 2 starts this year a bit shaky, where he allowed 5 runs in both, not getting out of the 5th.
Strike 1 to McCutchen.
And you can see pretty decent fastball, that at 93. Former shortstop.
Foul away. A converted shortstop. He hadn't played shortstop since he was in the Dominican Summer League, but he lives in San Pedro de Macorís and was born in Santo Domingo. And a lot of great infielders come from that part of the world, and he wanted to be one himself. I found that he could throw the ball pretty well from the hill. And he threw it pretty well past McCutchen and struck him out. And behind Rogers in the outfield, left to right, Carlos Gonzalez. In left field, Dexter Fowler in center. Ryan Spilborghs gets the start in right field today. Ian Stewart third, Tulowitzki and Barmes in the middle. Melvin Mora makes his 8th start at first base. Iannetta behind the plate. Rogers deals inside.
His 2 starts earlier, he threw a lot of pitches as well, despite not getting out of the 5th. 92 in his first start of the year, threw 4. 106 pitches through 4 2/3. His second start, which was way back on May 7th. We have a neat little quote from Rogers in the media notes. They asked him why he switched from being a shortstop to a pitcher, and he said, "Well, I hit 303 years as a shortstop."
Dominant base hit to right.
100, 100, 100.
Add him up, that's 300. Jose Tabata continues to hit. He's had a hit in 17 of his last 18 games now.
Nice little piece there. Tabata, who likes to use the whole field. Fastball away. Try to pull that, you roll over, hit a ground ball, stay with it. Another base hit for Jose.
There's a guy that has Played very well. Neil Walker carries an even .300 average into the ballgame today. Switch hitter batting left-handed. 5 home runs, 31 runs knocked in. He represents the tying run very early in the ballgame. Tough night for Neil last night. A night that he probably put behind him as quickly as he could. Came up with the bases loaded twice and made an out each time. Had a chance to break the game open, and that's just the way baseball is, though, Rock. As you know, as a hitter, you're going to succeed 30% of the time. That's very successful. It's the 70% of the time that you can't pick and choose.
Yeah, and he's been doing a great job in pressure situations since he's been recalled.
Ooh, just missed down the third baseline.
344 hitter. Runners in scoring position. See, like Tabata trying to go the other way on the fastball, but about a 1.5 foot foul.
He's got a lot of room down the line with the third baseman Ian Stewart playing him in the hole. Tabata has his lead at first. Esmil Rogers stretch throws to first, and it gets away, and Tabata will head to second base.
Wow, I'm surprised he stopped.
He had a late break. I don't think he realized the ball was past the first baseman for a little bit.
Well, I think he did what he was supposed to. I mean, I'm not exactly sure with Tony Beasley if he had the stop sign up. But as he was going towards second base, he was picking up his third base coach. That's why he put on the brakes. So obviously Tony Beasley had his hands up. Initially, I thought he'd be able to get over there.
Ball and 2 strikes to Walker. Now he's got a man in scoring position. 2-0 Rockies, bottom of the first inning. Rogers checks second. Now comes home. And Walker strikes out. Rogers has struck out 2. Let's take a look at the good word for today. And it applies to the Detroit Tigers per se, but I think you can apply the message also to the Pirates. It comes from Jim Leland in today's Detroit Free Press on helping young players. These kids don't need somebody yelling and screaming at them and asking them to do things they're not quite capable of doing yet. The team needs coaches and a manager right now that are trying to help them through some real tough times. And it goes on, but I think the message kind of applies to the Pirates here too.
Sure. I mean, you don't want them up here walking on eggshells, young players. I mean, they're going to have to learn certain things up here, experience certain things. And as he goes on about, tearing up a clubhouse and setting the place on fire. I mean, just for the fans' sake, I don't think that's going to do any good.
Ooh, fair ball. And Jones is out very close down the line, so Garrett Jones grounds out. No runs, a hit, and a man left. Paul Maholm coming out for the top of the second, trailing 2-0. trailing Colorado by a 2-0 score. Carlos Gonzalez home run is 25th. With Dexter Fowler aboard, has given the Rockies their runs. Right fielder Ryan Spilborgh's facing Paul Maholm. What does Paul need to do to have a better second than he had in the first?
Pound that strike zone and try to figure it out. Like I said, that last inning, and sometimes he just can't control his sinker. It has too much movement. But he needs to start pounding the zone.
He's through into center field for a leadoff single. Time to take a look at our day automotive. This day in Pirates history. On August 8th, 1995, Jeff King became the first Pirate in 101 years and the 16th player in Major League history to hit 2 home runs in 1 inning. And you'd hope the Pirates would win. They beat the Giants 9-5.
I think he did it a second time the following year. I'm pretty sure that King did that twice. Because when I first started reading that, I assumed it was the Cincinnati Reds. I think he did it against John Smiley, actually, when he was with the Reds. Could be mistaken, but I don't remember the Giants one. I remember the Reds one. But back to your question about Paul and getting in the strike zone. I noticed before the base hit by Spilborgh's, Ryan Doumit started setting up right down the middle.
Sets up away that time and gets a swinging strike on Ian Stewart.
And if you do have a lot of movement on your sinker and you're having trouble getting ahead and throwing strikes with it, that's one way to try to get in the zone a little bit more. Let's set up middle, hoping the movement will take it to either corner.
1 ball, 1 strike to Stewart. Strike 2. Stewart was the culprit last night in the 9th inning. He got to Joel Hanrahan after Tulowitzki and Hoppett singled. And Stewart hit his 15th of the year. 12 of his 15 home runs have come on the road. It's one of the higher totals in baseball for road home runs. And a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Well, the note on Jeff King, you're pretty close. That pitch outside, but it was April of the next season against Cincinnati to hit a homer again. 2 homers in the same inning.
Smiley did start that game. Still not as impressive as Tatis and what he did in 1 inning.
2 grand slams.
But to do it twice, 2 homers in 1 inning twice, pretty good.
Esmiel Rogers. Once it foul. 1 down. The runner at first is Ryan Spilborgh's. Spilborgh's with the leadoff single. So each of the first 2 innings, the Rockies have had the leadoff man aboard.
And Tatis and his 2 grand slams, I thought were odd because he hit them off the same pitcher. You wouldn't think the same pitcher would be in for 2 grand slams given up to 1 guy in an inning. We have them.
Just looking at Evan Meek out there in the bullpen. He's doing some early game arts and crafts, huh? Trying to solve that puzzle later. Rogers, the bunt right back to the mound. Maholm will take the out at first base. 2 down. Spilborgh's at second. Sacrifice 1-4 with Walker covering at first. Well, Dexter Fowler coming up for the second time. His numbers at 241. Fowler hitting better from the right side than he is from the left. Against left-handed pitching, 264 average. Against right-handers, when he bats left, 228. Strike 1 delivered. Fowler looking out at Maholm. Spilborgh's at second base. Pirates have 5, 6, and 7 coming up. Alvarez, Domet, and Clement in the bottom half of the second. Alvarez, a big hit last night. He had 3 hits in the game, but people will remember the walk-off homer, the 3-run shot. His 3rd home run of the homestand. Base hit to center field. Spilborg's coming around third, and McCutchen will keep Fowler at first base. It's 3-0 Colorado. RBI for Dexter Fowler, his 18th.
Rogers being able to get that bunt down, that's where a pitcher could certainly help himself as Fowler comes through.
Fowler has been aboard now twice. Here's Clint Farmas. Quick flip over to first base, and we're used to seeing the big leads from Dexter Fowler. He's just long in his build, and he can get back to the base. It looks like he's got a good long lead, but that one step on the dive back, he just barely gets that hand on the top corner.
Looks like he's getting out a little bit sooner as well. One pickoff attempt on the step-off move from Maholm that last inning, where he almost got Fowler. It was like Fowler was shuffling off as Paul Maholm threw over there. And if you got that guy creeping and you're set and you're a left-handed pitcher and you can see it, and if you can see that base runner pick up his right foot as he's getting off the bag, that's the time to go over there with the quick pickoff. Because obviously if you're a runner at first base and your right foot is in the air, you can't go back until that foot gets down.
One and one to Clint Barmas. Long look by Paul Maholm. Foul down the left field side. Well, the first time Barmas played baseball in Colorado, he was 12 years old. Played in the Bambino World Series in Pueblo, Colorado. And he had to face a pretty good pitcher, the opposing team, who happens to be an all-star shortstop for the Phillies now. Jimmy Rollins was the guy that threw to Clint Barmas in the Bambino World Series when they were 12. He's always liked the middle infielders. He grew up not that far from St. Louis, a couple of hours drive from St. Louis. So the Wizard, Ozzie Smith, was always his favorite player. Although we haven't seen Barmas ever attempt to do any cartwheels and flips. There goes Fowler, and Barmas pops it up in foul ground.
Wow.
And a great catch by the youngster. Over the railing, using his hat.
Over the railing, using the hat. That was impressive.
Good fan defense. Stretch by Paul on the 1-2. Throw down to second base. And safe as Fowler. John Russell coming out to have a word with Bill Miller, the umpire at second base.
Well, the ball definitely looked like it beat the runner Fowler. We'll see here on a replay if the tag beat Fowler. Two outs, Fowler being aggressive.
I wonder why he was called safe.
Like I said, obviously the ball beat him there.
Well, looks like he's out by a long way right here. That's just a missed call. I mean, Dexter Fowler's out by a long way. John Russell had a point. Not going to win the argument, but Fowler should have been out and the inning should have been over.
No question.
And that one was, I mean, I can understand a bang-bang call, but that one wasn't even close.
Yep.
So Fowler at second base now. That puts a little more pressure on Paul Maholm as he delivers inside 3-2. Another full count. He's been in a few of those already this afternoon. Three-two pitch. See it from this angle.
Got him by a foot.
I hope he doesn't come around to score now. Be a very costly run. Not anybody's fault in the Pirates. And he's going to do just that. Rockies get a free run out of this as Barmes is going to head to second base with an RBI double. Inning should have been over. Instead, another run comes in. RBI number 48 for Barmes.
Paul Maholm leaves this one right over the heart of the plate.
Fowler breezing in to touch home. Clint Barnes delivering. Now Paul Maholm just has to try to shake this one off. 2 runs in the first, now 2 runs here in the second. Pitch count is very elevated at this point in the ball game. Not even through the second inning yet.
Yeah, that's the 4th straight start now for Paul Maholm, allowing at least 4 runs.
Pedro Alvarez and foul ground. He's not going to catch it. Didn't have much help.
A long way for Pedro.
And just that little look to see where that railing was. Then he had to look back and find the ball. That's a tough play, didn't it?
Not an easy play. Didn't have a great angle there. And there's a little bit of breeze blowing from right to left. Kind of pushed that ball away from Pedro.
Gonzalez fouls it up the first base side. Jeff Clement has it. Carlos Gonzalez, pretty special player.
Indeed.
If the Rockies are going to make a run in the National League West, he's going to be a very big part of it.
What's impressive to me is, lefties, righties, it doesn't matter. It's 319 against left-handed pitching, 322 against righties.
He's an equal opportunity masher.
Yeah. Paul Maholm has always been tough on lefties. In his career, lefties hitting just .207 against him. That was only his 12th home run he's allowed to a left-handed batter in his career.
Count stays a ball and 2 strikes to Gonzalez. 2-run home run in the first inning. He had a home run on Friday to lead off the ball game as well. His first at bat with 2 outs in the top of the first. On Thursday night, James McDonald made the start. Somehow the Pirates kept Gonzalez in check. He was 0 for 4.
That was impressive, by the way, James McDonald.
Yeah, you like that, huh?
Wow. The stuff is certainly there.
He'll go again in San Diego on Wednesday.
By the way, bring a jacket. San Diego. Check the weather.
I did not.
High. The warmest it's supposed to get while we're there is 65.
Really? What, are they on the other side of the equator right now? Is it winter there? Those cool ocean breezes. So the numbers that Ball has against lefties and righties. Closing average. Home runs allowed. Not many to lefties, but a lot to righties. Gonzalez pokes this one to right field. That's going to be in for another base hit. He'll go for 2, and he'll drive in Barnes. And the Rockies have jumped out to a 5-0 lead. Double number 17 for Carlos Gonzalez.
And another RBI.
His third one of the day.
And, you know, that's something, that's a new look for Paul Maholm. He actually dropped down and threw a slider from the side as Gonzalez just kept wasting pitch after pitch after pitch.
Ray Searage makes his first visit to the mound as Pirates interim pitching coach. And the left-hander Paul Maholm struggling here early in the ballgame, giving up 2 in the first, 3 here in the second. Now, Pirates have won the season series against the Rockies already, regardless of what happens here today. They've won 4 out of 6. And they'd like to win a 5th.
Should be happy. I tell you what, he's making hitting look easy at this level, and it isn't.
Troy Tulowitzki. There goes the runner. Gonzalez down to third, and he'll be safe. He just took a liberty there, took advantage of Maholm not looking at him. Third baseman playing deep. He just took off and no throw at all.
They have 2 outs. You're not going to worry. You see the middle infielders nowhere near him. You know, it's no big deal. Typically, that you're not going to see it. You know, why bother? You're going to steal just as easily or score just as easily from second as you are from third on a base hit.
18th stolen base for Gonzalez. Tulowitzki grounded out to Neil Walker at second base in his first at bat. Already activity in the Pirates bullpen. Daniel McCutcheon getting loose.
62 pitches is a lot of pitches. That's a big workload for just 2 innings.
2 balls and a strike.
And there's some 15 pitches Paul Maholm's thrown since that missed call at second base. That missed call is probably going to cost Maholm maybe even a third inning this afternoon. It certainly has already cost him 2 runs.
And you hate to see that as the reason, but it is the reason. Calls are calls. They go one way or another, and you got to live with the results.
Rarely will you see a call missed like that one, though.
Tulowitzki hammers this one into the left field corner. Another run will come in as Gonzalez scores. Tulowitzki around first into second base, and it's a hit parade in the second inning for Colorado. Back-to-back-to-back doubles. 5 hits in the inning already. 46th run batted in for Tulowitzki.
Yeah, Paul Maholm again leaving a pitch up out over the plate, looked flat, and it gets hammered.
6-0 Colorado. Number 6, Melvin Mora takes a strike. Boy, how tough is it for a pitcher, John, when you're down 6-0 and your spot in the order hasn't even come up yet?
Yep. Right. I mean, we're pushing 70 pitches in 2 innings. I mean,
yes, he went around, says Eric Cooper. That will be strike 2. 0-2 is the count.
Here we go.
Yes, he did. Pretty obvious there.
No balls, 2 strikes. 1-2. Paul normally pitches pretty well at PNC Park. today being banged around the ballpark some. He allowed 8 runs in 5 1/3 innings and lost 9-3 when he faced Ubaldo Jimenez at Coors Field on the 29th of July. Here's a tapper right back to the mound, and Maholm throws to Clement. Half inning is over, but 4 runs are in, and the Rockies with a 6-0 lead after an inning. Bottom of the second inning, and El Toro needs to try to get the Pirates going here, facing Esmil Rogers. Pedro Alvarez takes inside. For Rogers, the rookie, who ended up making the Rockies opening day roster, he's got a comfortable lead at this point in the game. Most home runs by National League rookies, our Barrel Automotive League leaders stat. Keep in mind, the 4 players on that list in front of Pedro have played more than double the number of games Pedro's played. Mike Stanton is a few more games, but 5 or 6 more games than Alvarez. So he's around the same amount, but all the other guys have played twice as many games, and Pedro's catching up to him.
And maybe he'll pass him. I mean, I think the more he gets comfortable, the more he gets locked in. I don't think we've seen the best of Pedro Alvarez yet, not even close.
2-1. Hit to the right side, and here is Clint Barnes throwing him out. There's one away. If you're traveling this season, take the Pirates with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Pirates game live or on demand on your computer. Visit Pirates.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Got a text from a friend of mine out west last night, Rock, watching our game on MLB.tv on his iPad.
Was it Pete Toma?
It wasn't. It was actually another person I know that actually has one of those. A lot more people I know are starting to use them. But the MLB.tv, really, literally, you can take baseball with you everywhere. Sometimes on the right apparatus, you can watch it on those. Ryan Domit, in his last game of his rehab stint with Indy, second game with a doubleheader, hit a 2-run home run, had a double. Three balls and a strike to Domit. Domit came in last night and caught late in the ball game. Had one at bat. Chris Snyder the day off today. Domit coming back from that mild concussion he suffered. Just had a little bit of time off and some rehab work in AAA, and now getting his timing back. Snyder hit the 3-run shot high off the foul pole in left field.
And that was a bomb.
Estimated at 428 feet. 3-2 pitch. Tillman rips it foul.
I talked to Jimmy T about that today. It didn't go an estimated 420 feet. They estimated it would have gone 428 feet.
Well, it was stopped by the screen.
Yeah, so it went 325 feet plus whatever the elevation is there. But I believe it would have went 428 feet, but it didn't go 428 feet.
Dolmet hammers this one down into the right field corner. That bounces off the wall. Dolmet speeding around first, chugging for second. He will slide in safely with a double. 18th double for Ryan Dolmet. Welcome back, Dewey.
Exactly. Welcome back. And, hopefully the health issues are behind them and come up swinging a hot bat. Good swing there. And good fastball hitter. Ryan Dolmet's always been a good fastball hitter. Nice to see Ryan Dolmet. We can get him in the lineup, get him consistent at bats, and he can produce.
Jeff Clement, his first at bat today. He's had a nice new approach. Strike one. You go back to that home run he hit on Saturday in St. Louis. 1-1 pitch from Mitchell Boggs, hit him in the back foot. He turned around to home plate umpire Tim McClellan and said, "Excuse me, sir, that hit me in the foot." And McClellan said, "Yeah, I know it did. But you want to hit. You don't want to go down to first base." And on the 2-2 pitch, he hit it out of the ballpark.
I did that once, by the way. In San Francisco, got hit with a pitch. Just kind of brushed my arm or jersey or something. I just sat in there, and the next pitch I fouled off. And the umpire said, "Did that hit you?" I said, "Yeah, it just kind of grazed me." Next pitch I swung and missed for strike 3. I said, "Yep, stupid enough to think I could get a hit."
It's just silly of you not to try to argue.
Very silly.
0-2 to Clement. Rogers ready to go on the pitch. And Clement. Will it drop? Will it drop? It is caught. Wow, what a play by Dexter Fowler. Taking one away from Jeff Clement.
My, oh my, does he cover the ground? Long strides. He just, wow, just above the grass.
Oh, that's a catch.
Yep. That's a tough play for Dolmet, too. I mean, you kind of caught in between right there. Fortunately able to get back, but unfortunately for Jeff Clement, he's been robbed.
Ball 1 to Ronnie Cedeno. Dolmet in scoring position at second base. Nothing across yet for the Pirates on 2 hits. 1-1 to Ronnie. Did you ever have a favorite umpire? A guy that you like to have calling balls and strikes when you were hitting?
Well, there's a couple out there that, tight zones. Jerry Crawford comes to mind. More of a hitter zone than a pitcher zone.
Here's a strike called. 1-2.
I think in the 90s it just, the strike zones were just bigger. You just had to cover more plate. And, it was very rare where there was like a borderline pitch that wasn't called a strike.
Esmil Rogers, the rookie right-hander. It's Cedeno to foul it back.
I remember, I think I was facing Jason Isringhausen was a rookie. He had a big curveball. He was a starting pitcher then. He flipped me a curveball that was called a ball by Jerry Crawford. And I almost turned around and said, what was wrong with that? I mean, it was right down the middle, probably belt high.
One-two pitch. So what did he say?
I didn't. I said I thought about turning around.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I didn't say a word.
He probably had already thought about his response, thinking you were going to say something.
You know, back then too. I mean, I'm sure he called it high. You know, I was more of a high ball hitter than a low ball hitter. You know, back then, I don't think a pitch over the belt was called a strike.
Cedeno lines one to left field. That's going to get a run, and here comes Doma around third. The throw from left field, a play, safe. Wow, a lot closer than you thought it might be, but Gonzalez, a bullet from left field. A single for Cedeno, goes down to second on the throw. Ronnie, he's got his 25th run batted in. The Pirates on the board at 6-1.
Is there anything the kid can't do? I mean, he didn't have a chance there, I didn't think, of throwing out Ryan Doman. Yeah, I'm thinking, well, this isn't a good decision throwing the ball home here because you're going to allow the runner Cedeno to get to second. But, boy, in the air, right on the money, barely beating the tag of Iannetta.
Now Paul Maholm with 2 outs. Boy, he got it with the hand, didn't he? And not the foot.
Yeah, I don't like that. I'm wondering if he was tagged at all. It wasn't much of an argument from the catcher Iannetta.
Maholm loops one up in the infield. Troy Tulowitzki flips the glasses down, makes the catch. Paul breaks his bat. That does it. Pirates get a run on 2 hits. As Cedeno drives in Doman. Very close play at the plate. Crunch on 6-1. Check the play at the plate again.
Yeah, right here you'll see how his hand touches the plate just before the tag of Iannetta. I still get confused as to why we go in around the plate and tag the plate with the hand as opposed to the foot. Obviously, if you're going to slide feet first, your foot's going to get to the plate before your hand. So why we see that a lot, not just with the Pirates, but across baseball, that kind of backdoor slide. But that's a good view of it from the camera guys and people in the truck.
Iannetta fly ball center field, and the Rocky catcher makes the first out of the top half of the third. Well, Doma scoring, Pirates on the board. Safe Auto Insurance reminds you that you are safe at home with Safe Auto, proudly supporting the Obadiah Cole Foundation for prostate cancer screening and awareness. Early detection is the cure. Ronnie Cedeno with the RBI. Here's Ryan Spilborghs, the right fielder. He started the whole mess in the second inning with a leadoff single. He'd score a run. His only hit of the series was last inning. 6 runs on 6 hits for Colorado. And 1 run on 3 hits for the Pirates. Foul away. And the Pirates have a travel day tomorrow to San Diego. Rockies also off tomorrow. They travel to New York. So a little bit different type of travel. They're kind of up and down. And an off day in New York. And the Parrot trying to keep people cool down there in the sun.
Yeah, what are you going to do with yourself? They got almost 2 full days in New York City.
Well, talking to some guys who are on the television crew, they're taking a drive today to Cooperstown. They're going to go to the Hall of Fame and drive back down to the city. Ground ball to third. Pedro rockets it over to first base for the out. Well, due to the overwhelming response from fans, the Pirates are extending no service fees week for an additional week. All tickets purchased now through Sunday, August 15th, the Pirates will pay all service fees. This deal includes any ticket purchased for all remaining Pirates home games for the rest of the season. So don't miss out on great promotions, post-game concerts, fireworks, and more. Visit pirates.com/no fees to get your tickets. So an extension of that great offer. And you can get your tickets the same way. Pirates pay the fees, so they're not waived. The Pirates pick them up for you. What does that say on the kid's shirt? Does that say Rock? Rock?
I don't know.
You have your own line of T-shirts?
I do not.
That you know about. Maybe that's something we ought to work on. Rock T-shirt day for the kids. Go along with the replica helmets today.
We're trying to get fans to the ballpark, Tim.
You mean they'd stay away if it was Rock T-shirt day?
No, I'm not thinking that you're going to get any more than you normally would with a Rock T-shirt day. Although the helmet day, I loved the helmet. Growing up, the helmet day was a great day. I couldn't wait for helmet day. I would not miss it. That's what we wore for our wiffle ball games.
And now that's what they're going to wear for their wiffle ball games. And if Dad pitches, he's got one.
I actually was in a neighboring neighborhood out in Cranberry the other day, and I saw kids outside playing ball. I was so excited. In the backyard, like a common area. It's like, wow, look at that. Kids are outside.
Isn't that amazing? Chopper in fair territory. Maholm can't make the play. Ball getting off balance and tangled up, and Stewart is safe. That'll be an error on Paul Maholm.
He had a lot more time, I think, than he thought he had, and just tried to scoop it up too quickly. And that would have been nice for Paul to get through this inning quickly. He was able to come up with it. You mentioned all the pitches he threw in the first 2 innings.
Esmil Rogers lines one to the gap in left center field. That's going to roll all the way to the bullpen wall. Coming around third is Stewart. He will score, and an RBI double for the pitcher, Esmil Rogers. It is now 7-1.
Wow.
Well, the converted shortstop handles the bat a little bit, gets his first career double.
Yeah, that hurts. And John Russell is out. And that's going to be it for Paul Maholm.
Paul Maholm's afternoon ends far earlier than he had hoped. The Columbia Gas 811 call to the pen has been made here at PNC Park. making his 11th appearance.
You could make the argument for Paul Maholm if he gets the calls. You know, if he gets the call from second base umpire Bill Miller, and if he makes the play there, he only gives up 3 runs through 3. Certainly a big difference.
Well, that's a difference, a major difference in the ball game.
Sure.
If Miller gets the call right, an easy call, gets it right at second, blows the call, and it blew the game wide open. Back to the top of the order, batting for the 3rd time in the game here in the 3rd inning is Dexter Fowler. And McCutcheon's pitch outside, a fastball. But Esmil Rogers, his first career double, ends up chasing his counterpart, Paul Maholm, with that double and run batted in. Stewart, reaching on the Maholm error, comes around to score. So another run comes in. 1-1 to Fowler. Well, the good news is there's a ton of time left in this game.
Yep, no question. Rogers, youngster, really hasn't done a whole lot as a starter, although just his 4th big league start.
Down the left field line, curling away from Tabata, and it'll drop on the line, fair, and into the stands for a ground rule double. Rogers comes in to score on the play, and it is 8-1.
Boy, and Dexter Fowler could do no wrong. Well, when we were in Colorado, he could do no right. He couldn't buy a hit, and I was thinking that he was about to be sent out back to the minor leagues. But he's certainly gotten his confidence back and got some luck to go with it.
And that run is charged to Paul Maholm. Book closed on him now. 8 runs given up for Paul. 7 of them earned. 6 of them earned. Beg your pardon. Still, that's above his earned run average at 4.59 to start the day. So I'll go up.
Yeah, Paul briefly had his ERA under a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 starts ago.
Here's McCutcheon's 1-1. Barmas, a couple of hops to short. Cedeno throws him out. 2 more runs come in. Rockies have scored in each of the first 3 innings. Going on the disabled list has a 7-run lead, and I guess he doesn't score a lot of runs, Rock. He thought he was getting a high five from the ump.
Yeah. Wow, this is cool. In the big league, the umpires give you 5.
Then he realized it at the last moment. Oops.
Never noticed that before. Cool.
Pirates need to try to start clawing their way back in this ball game.
It could be done. A lot of ball game.
Rogers' record 1-2, 4.85 his earned run average this year. He's been up and down 4 different times now with the Rockies and their AAA ball club in Colorado Springs. There's a strike. Now in Colorado they use the humidor to kind of soften the baseballs and make sure in that light mile-high air that the ball doesn't travel 18 miles. It still travels, but since using the humidor, it's calmed it down a lot. 2-2. And McCutchen pokes it to the right side. That's a base hit.
There's a start.
But you played in the Pacific Coast League, John, where the Colorado Springs team is, and they're actually at higher altitude than Denver. They're closer to 7,000 feet above sea level. And the balls rocket out of there.
And it's a smaller ballpark. It's not anywhere near as big a ballpark as Coors Field. But I was impressed. And they have a rock hard infield to boot, so even ground balls go flying through. What is it, the Sky Sox?
Yes.
Sky Sox infield.
Tabata has a hit today. 1-for-1, takes a strike.
That's the one thing I noticed that was most impressive of looking at Rogers' numbers down in AAA. He held hitters to just a 205 average. In that ballpark, I don't know how many starts he had at home at Colorado Springs, but a 205 average down there is remarkable.
Tabata down the right field line. That'll go foul.
Rogers in his brief big league career. Lefties have hit him in a 393 clip. Righties just a 176 batting average.
Nothing into the count. There goes McCutchen. Pitch inside for a ball. Throw down. No chance to get him. A stolen base for Andrew McCutchen. His 22nd. Nice to see Andrew running. We haven't seen him run a lot lately.
Well, I think you have to, attribute that to the opposing pitchers and keeping him close. You can see there Rogers has a pretty, fairly high leg kick, deliberate to the plate. That allows Andrew a big jump. And even though you're down 8-1, I mean, it's just the 3rd inning. So you can try to manufacture and peck away as long as you know you're going to make it.
Toward the middle, and that'll get McCutchen to 3rd. Spinning play by Tulowitzki. Just gets Tabata. Close play at first base. Tabata ends up moving McCutchen over 90 feet.
He has an uncanny ability, Tulowitzki, to just throw from weird, awkward angles. When he did the 360 spin, I thought he was going to do us a favor. I thought once he decided to do that Tabata was either going to beat it out or the throw was going to be offline. I mean, that's a difficult throw to make, especially when I didn't think he had to do the spin.
Neil Walker.
Get away.
And Stewart's not going to get it. Break there for Neal. Walker 0 for 1. Strikeout victim in the first.
And you see the impressive numbers. Runners in scoring position.
Walker, good opportunity with 1 out to get McCutchen in. Jones on deck. Hill has seen his average dip just a tick under 300 for the first time in a while. Two and 1.
Good hard breaking ball. Very well located, but I'd say too hard to be a curveball, maybe too soft to be a slider, kind of like slurve, a hybrid.
Three and one. Walker waiting for the pitch from Esmil Rogers. Catching the runner at third base. Leadoff single and a stolen base. Went down to third on top of his ground out. Walker shoots it foul, count full. Mr. Rogers trying to make PNC Park his neighborhood today.
He hasn't pitched well away from Coors Field. He's only thrown 13 2/3 innings on the road. He's allowed 19 runs in those 13 2/3 coming into today.
Here comes the payoff. And Walker walks. Pirates now with 2 on and 1 out. Runners at the corners for Garrett Jones. EasyToUse.com minor league connection. Last night, Altoona played at Harrisburg, and look at the score. Wow. 18-6, 22 hits. Brian Morris got the win. Michael Doobie, the save, his third. Chase Darno, 4 for 6. Miles Durham, 4 for 6. Matt Haig, 3 for 5. Chris Watts, 4 out of 6 with a home run, 5 runs batted in. The bats exploded for the Curve last night.
You're looking at, 15 hits just from the 4 guys. Watts, Haig, Durham.
There's the real Mr. Rogers. He is in this neighborhood, by the way. We asked, won't you be my neighbor? So they said, sure, we'll put a statue down the street. Esmil Rogers, the pitcher today, trying to keep it going for the Rockies, but the Pirates trying to invade Mr. Rogers' neighborhood.
Garrett Jones, short and quick. I hope, with Rogers, and his primary pitch has been the fastball. He really hasn't shown much location as far as the breaking ball. I haven't seen any changeups. And Garrett Jones, when he's short and quick, he gets a fastball middle in here. He cuts the lead in half. This could be very interesting if he gets a hold of him.
Ooh, strike below the kneecaps. Eric Cooper right on that borderline of a knee-high strike. Calling it on Jones. 1-1. Jones hit a home run last night. He has hit Colorado pitching well this year. Popped him up.
Get out.
Iannetta to the backstop, and it'll just climb it and go on the third row. Well, last night, Garrett got in front of one, and the 7th inning, it was a leadoff smash deep to right center. Early fireworks for the sellout crowd last night. 16 home runs on the year and climbing for Garrett Jones. Backed him up, 2-2 count now. Jones at 263. Starting in right field today. The last time he did that, the 11th of June. He's been at first base since. Jeff Clement getting the start at first base today. 2-2 pitch. And out of the camera well.
Sounds like it got something down there.
These guys could use the Pirate replica helmets today. A little extra protection. Runners off the corners, and the 2-2. And Jones to the right side. Mora to second for one. Tulowitzki, a return throw. Safe. Mora's foot off the bag. McCutchen comes in to score. Jones safe at first. Pirates get a run out of it. It's 8-2.
Well, we get one across. You're hoping for Garrett Jones to get a pitch he can get a hold of. Buck's actually getting a break here. Not a very good feed from Mora to Tulowitzki. And fortunately, Mora unable to find the bag coming back. So we do get one run across. Garrett Jones will get an RBI.
Well, the lead cut. Pedro Alvarez trying to cut it some more. 1-0. Pedro got the pie in the face last night. If they used real whipped cream instead of shaving cream, might be a little easier on the stomach.
It's gotten old.
Pedro rocket right at Barnes. And what a catch. That flew off the bat of Pedro Alvarez. Pirates get one back. It's 8-2 after 3. They're going nuts. How about Craig Brown and Steve Blass going nuts last night on radio on that call? It's raw exuberance.
Is there a bird in the booth with Steve? I heard like a walk, 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 walk.
I think that was Steve.
Oh.
Steve was so worked up he had to take the day off today.
Lost his voice.
You're in here as a result. Gonzalez pops it up. Shallow left field, and Talbot makes the catch. God, oh, Steve lost his voice on the golf course. We had to send him out to look for it today.
Yep. Probably out to defend his championship. I know the one year he won like the seniors championship. His boy won regular. Father, son, they won. Karen won.
Tulowitzki, first ball swinging. Cut off by Alvarez. And safe. Clement missed on the tag. Throw pulled Clement off the bag. He tried to sweep him on the way by and fanned on him.
They're going to give Pedro an error. And what happens is it kind of that one of those hops where he got it behind him in the transfer. A lot of times from glove to hand on a play like this where everything's happening so quickly, you don't always get a good grip on the ball. Hard to tell if that was the case there with Pedro or not, but Jeff Clement unable to apply the tag as Tulowitzki ducking out of the way.
Melvin Mora, ball and no strikes. Mora walked in the first inning, grounded back to the pitcher Paul Maholm in the second. Daniel McCutchen now beginning his First full inning of work. Came on with 2 outs in the third after Esmil Rogers hit a double and chased Paul Maholm. 8-2. Pirates trailing by 6 runs. Top half of the fourth.
I never heard that one before. Did you hear that?
I was trying to listen to the announcement they were making.
They did not. They are giving Mora an error at first base, so no RBI for Garrett Jones.
So take the fielder's choice out.
Wow.
Wow. That was a tough break for Garrett Jones, losing an RBI like that. Jones with 63 RBIs again. Thought he had his 64th. Either way, the run scores. I think he'd take the team run than the personal RBI. 1 out, 1 on. 3-1 pitch. Mora fouls it back. Count full. And this is the play at first base when Jones hits into a possible 3-6-3 double play with McCutchen at third.
And the one thing he did not see there is after Mora let go of the throw, did he look back to see where the base was, or what was? Why couldn't he find the bag? But the rolling, I guess, is the throw beat Jones to the bag, but because he didn't have his foot on the bag. I don't know. I never saw that ruled that way.
3-2 to Melvin Mora. Tulowitzki the runner at first. Pirates throwing over there, thinking Tulowitzki might be leaning. And there goes Tulowitzki, swing and a miss, strike 3, throw down, and he's safe.
I think he missed another one down.
Wow, I'm with you on the expression. Wow.
Not the greatest of throws, but the ball beats him in plenty of time. And again, unless he missed the tag, and it looks like he got him on the hip. If he gets him in the hip, he's out.
So that's 2 at second base. The ball was there way before Tulowitzki. Chris Iannetta, the hitter. On a strike. It's got to be frustrating for a pitcher.
Or Brian Doman, who struggled all year throwing out runners.
He's made 2 good throws today. And down to third goes Tulowitzki. Wild pitch.
One more look at it here. And can we get a tag? Yes, he's out.
Well, Bills missed 2 today. Replay, umpire's worst nightmare. They get most of them right, though. I'll tell you what, they get a lot of tough ones right. And when they get one wrong, it's magnified. Just ask Bill Davidson. Bob Davidson, beg your pardon. Thinking of Bill Miller. But Bob Davidson down in Miami the other night, Florida, Philadelphia. Ball hit a mile fair down third, and he called it foul. Would have been a walk-off winner for the Marlins.
Yeah, that was odd.
He said it was foul, and after the game maintained it was foul. I don't think they showed him the video before he made his comments. Line drive to left, and Tabata. No tie catch. Nothing across for Colorado, heading to the bottom of the fourth. 8-2 Rockies. Domet leading off the bottom half of the fourth. 6-run lead for Colorado right now. Domet takes a strike from Esmail Rogers. Ryan might like to take on a little frustration on the baseball. Got a double and scored a run last time.
Yeah. A couple of pretty good throws. Should have cut down runners. Cost the Bucks 3 runs.
Down the right field line again. This one's pulled. That hit the wall pretty hard. It almost came all the way back to the infield.
Yep.
Off the wall. One and 2 to Ryan Domet. Having Domet in the lineup, either at catcher or right field, gives the Pirates more pop as he loops this one back a shortstop. Tulowitzki will take care of it for out number 1. The Hampton 8-year-old All-Stars are the new Trib Total Media Youth Baseball or Softball Team of the Month. This coach pitch group prides themselves on defense and have allowed 7 runs or less in every game. Your team could be next. Just write a short essay to baseball at fsnpittsburgh.net telling us why. And they could be featured during a Trib Total Media Pirates pregame show in September. Jeff Clement takes ball 1.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, you read it and you say 7 runs or less.
And that's in coach pitch.
That's what I mean. You get kids at that age making plays defensively. Usually it's a merry-go-round.
Usually they reach the run limit in the inning.
I mean, you got some kids who can catch and throw the ball.
Sharply hit ground ball is short. Tulowitzki loads up. And there are 2 away. Well, it's bottom of the 4th. Let's take a look at our AT&T trivia question. Brought to you by AT&T Mobility. Rethink possible. The question is, Pedro Alvarez reached 10 home runs in 45 games. The 4th fastest Pirates rookie ever. Which 3 rookies went faster? Since we have 2 outs, you want to start guessing now?
Well, I think it's safe to say Garrett Jones did it.
He did. I'm guessing it's got to be one. Ralph Kiner?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know for sure, but he'd be a good guess. I know Craig Wilson came up and hit a bunch of homers. I'm not sure if he played regularly. If he was more of a pinch hitter when he first came up than an everyday player. So I don't know. Still think he might be one of them.
2-1 to Cedeno. To right field down the line. That's going to slice into the seats. Jones had an incredible half of the year last year when he came up.
Yep.
1st of July. 3-2. I went on the winter caravan with Garrett and asked him, well, you know, you had 21 last year, so you're going to have 42 in a full season, right? He's like, no, don't put that pressure on me. Oh, that's a fair ball. That's down the line, and Cedeno's going to turn first and head for second. And a 2-out double for Ronnie Cedeno. 19th double for Ronnie. He's 2 for 2 this afternoon.
Yep, just a little breaking ball, and that left right down the middle. That's where I think Rogers is, you know, for the most part this afternoon, he's gotten away with primarily fastballs. Need some work on that breaking ball. And McCutcheon, the pitcher, Daniel, a chance to bat. Don't be surprised to see him lay down a bunt here.
Very good bunter for a base hit. Good speed. He's a good athlete.
Yep.
He's one of those players, too, I think, that if he's unavailable to pitch out of the bullpen one particular night, if you need a pinch runner and you don't want to use a position player, he's the guy to be the guy.
Yep.
They've used Zach Duke in the past, not only to pinch hit, but we've seen him pinch run before. And McCutcheon lifts this one to right field. Spilborg gets underneath it for the out. Nothing across, 1 hit and 1 left. We'll head to the 5th. 8-2 Colorado in front at PNC Park. kids enjoying the family fun zone. It's a blast for the young ones as they get ready to come into the game. Painting, sign making, and oh yeah, forget cookies. Replica Helmet Day today. Great Kids Day Sunday afternoon at Sunsplash PNC Park. Top of the fifth, 8-2. Pirates trying to find their way back into this one, and Daniel McCutcheon trying to slow down the Rockies. Pirates winning last night 8-7 in 10 innings. A walk-off 3-run home run by Pedro Alvarez. They won game one here Thursday. They've taken 2 of 3 so far. You know, the Pirates have only lost one series to the Rockies here at PNC Park since it opened. It was in 2007. They were swept. Spilborgh's well struck to the gap, and it's off the wall. Spilborghs will pull in with a leadoff double. He's 2 for 3.
That was a rocket. I'm waiting for it to drop in the grass out there. That ball just kept going and going and going. Some 400 feet away.
Second time aboard for Spilborghs. Ian Stewart reached on an error by Paul Maholm, hit a little bleeder down the first baseline. And Maholm misplayed it. Stewart was able to get to first. Popped up to right field. It's a back pocket play for Garrett Jones. Throw to third base is not there. And Spilborghs tagging and making it. Good throw by Jones, but just offline. Good strong throw. Had it been on the bag, he might have had Spilborghs.
Yeah, I think he gets him if he's on the bag. And you mentioned June 11th was the last time he was out there. He set up nicely behind the ball. Had some momentum going forward. All the way in the air to third baseman Pedro Alvarez. I was surprised to see Spilborghs going.
Infield comes in, 1 out. Esmil Rogers. 1 for 1 today. Double and an RBI and a run scored. Inverted shortstop. Likes to think, like most pitchers who've played another position, that they are a regular hitter. And a line drive right at Neil Walker. Nice stab off the bat of Esmil Rogers. 2 down.
Appears it broke the bat a little bit. Didn't sound real good coming off, but he swings the bat pretty good. Looks like he's a better hitting pitcher than he was a hitting shortstop.
So far in the big leagues, that's the case. Fowler, pretty good hitting center fielder now. He's found his groove lately. Fouls the first pitch off. He's been on base 3 times this afternoon. Walked and scored in the first, RBI single in the second, and he scored and a double and a run batted in, and a ground rule double in the third. In case you missed it, from Mazda, Brandon Morrow of Toronto has a no-hitter going through 8 innings. 16 strikeouts in that game with 1 walk, so it won't be a perfect game, but he's got a no-hitter going. And the team, John, that he's got it going against is kind of like the designated team everybody no-hits, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, they've been no-hit twice this year, right? What a difference a day makes, by the way.
To center field, this should do it. Can of corn from McCutcheon. Rockies strand a leadoff double. Colorado with the lead. And Smil Rogers facing the top of the order. Andrew McCutchen, Jose Tabata, and Neil Walker this inning. With John Wehner, I'm Tim Neverett on a Kids Day Sunday afternoon at PNC Park. Beautiful day. What a great weekend we've had here. 0-2 to McCutchen.
One of his better breaking balls there. He gets Andrew to chase.
McCutchen had a single in the third, stole a base and scored. You know, that was his first stolen base since the 17th of July. And it's not as though he hasn't had opportunities. He does have the green light. He's just been very cautious with his chances.
Yeah, I think with any base stealer, I think, you have confidence, and sometimes you lack confidence. And when you're confident, you're more likely to go and take chances.
Ball to Stewart. McCutchen is out. Bang, bang at first base. They just barely got him.
One of those ground balls that you hit off the end of the bat, so you're coming out of the box. You're out of the box quickly. It wasn't hit all that sharply. McCutchen always going hard. That's just a case where Stewart takes another split second. McCutchen ends up with a base hit.
Jose Tabata now. No balls and one strike. There's McCutchen head down like a sprinter straight ahead.
Yep. Well, all of a sudden, Rogers is able to flip that breaking ball in their first strike.
Rogers working quickly here in the fifth. Nothing doing in either bullpen at this point. Smil Rogers, the starter today. An even count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Another hit for Tabata. He is going to try for 2. Here comes the throw. Safe. A double for Jose Tabata. Great use of the legs.
It's just so pretty to see. To watch him drive a ball the other way, especially the gapper. It just looks so easy and effortless. Fastball middle of the plate and just pulls those hands in. And Fowler, again, impressive and cutting another ball off. And Jose Tabata, good speed, not hesitating, despite a good throw from Fowler. In with a double.
Neil Walker 0 for 1 with a walk. Strike 1 is called. Tabata, another multi-hit game for him. Walker up the middle, a base hit, and Tabata rounding third. He will score an RBI single for Neil Walker. He drives in his 32nd run, and the Pirates chipping away. It's now 8-3.
Well, keep chipping away. Get base runners out there and see what can happen. It's a fastball out over the plate, right back through the box. A lot of game left, and now you got your big boppers, Garrett Jones, Pedro Alvarez. Garrett can run into one. It's just a 3-run game with 4+ innings to go.
Jones looking for some solid contact here. You look at rookie batting average, John, coming in today. Both Tabata and Walker were 3-4 in the National League. Tabata 304, Walker at 300. Chasing Buster Posey of San Francisco, who has really blossomed. Posey hitting 344. Starlin Castro of the Cubs hitting 312. And then the next 2 rookies from the Pirates, Tabata and Walker, in the top 4 in batting average among rookies. To the backstop it goes, and down to second base goes Walker. Well, we gave you question, our AT&T Mobility Trivia question. Pedro Alvarez reached 10 home runs in 45 games, fourth fastest Pirates rookie ever. We guessed Jones, Kiner, and Craig Wilson. We were right on one of them.
Yep.
Overlooked Jason Bay and Dick Stewart in 1958. They had 38 games. But it only took Jones 19 games to do it.
That's pretty impressive.
We were 333 on that one.
That's about right.
Actually, if you go 1 for 3 all the time, you're going to be in the Hall of Fame. Except at trivia.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to open a wing for us.
Well, keep trying, though. 2-2 the count. Walker at second base. One man is out. Garrett Jones trying to get Walker in and cut this lead in half. Fills it up. So Jones telling himself, come on. He knows it's a big at bat.
Just keep seeing it. Second strike, chasing a breaking ball. Just a case where I think Garrett at times will get up there and start guessing strike, guessing fastball instead of looking for a fastball, looking for a strike. When you guess, you have a tendency to pull the trigger too early before you pick up the ball.
And on a 3-2 count, when you know you're only looking for one pitch, you got one pitch to deal with now. How does that change your mental approach?
Well, in 3-2 count, you can't afford to go up there looking for one pitch. And now a 2-0 count, yeah, look for a fastball middle in, somewhere where you like it. Or a 3-1 count, you look for one pitch. 3-2, you got. I mean, he just got a breaking ball there, 3-2, which was a surprise for me from Rogers. I mean, you're protecting. You're just looking for a pitch and just trying to see it and hit it.
To the left side, slow roller. Stewart will throw him out. That gets Walker down to third base. 2 men out now in the Pirate half of the fifth. You can own a piece of the game with the Pirates Authentic Merchandise Collection. The collection features game-used lineup cards, jerseys, bats, bases, and more. To get your authentic Pirates merchandise, just stop by the Majestic Clubhouse store at PNC Park or visit pirates.com/authentics. Nice game jersey there. Got to pay a visit. Pirates.com. They got everything there. Pedro Alvarez comes to the plate in a, I wouldn't say a huge situation, but a situation nonetheless where he's trying to get a run in.
Well, I think with every run that you're able to get, I mean, I'm sure Jim Tracy's starting to squirm a little bit here. Daniel McCutcheon's done a good job of keeping the Rockies off the board. And the Pirates, keep chipping away.
(2-0).
Pedro can get a hold of one here. I mean, it's a whole different ballgame.
Well, Daniel McCutcheon, who's been stretched out as a starter, he could go a ways today and give the bullpen a break. After coming in for Paul Maholm, Paul went 2 2/3. That's the second shortest outing after going 1+ inning in an interleague game in Texas. Pickoff attempt at third base, and Walker slides back safely at first. It's a 2-1 count to Alvarez.
Just kind of a little sign that you put on there between the catcher and the third baseman. Walker was taking his normal secondary lead. If that's an accurate throw, that's bang bang.
Alvarez to center field. That's a base hit, and Pedro drives in another run. And the lead cut in half. It's 8-4.
Chip away, chip away. You never know.
But the bat died a winner.
It died a winner off the end. Certain guys just have a knack for driving in runs, and Pedro Alvarez looks to be one of those guys. You know, you're not in love with the average, but you love the home runs, you love the RBIs.
He sits safely in 6 of his last 7. Ryan Domit hoping to keep it going with 2 outs. Now you look at the Pirates lineup and you see some pop in the bottom of the order today. You got Domit, Clement hitting in the 7 spot. Cedeno's going to hit one out occasionally. Cedeno's 2 for 2 today. Domit to Barmes at second. Takes care of the Pirates in the 5th, but 2 runs come in on 3 hits and a man left, and the Pirates have cut it in half halfway through. Domit scoring on this play. Back in the 2nd inning, that was the Pirates' first run. Just barely beating the tag of Chris Iannetta. That's the Coors Light Freeze Can, brought to you by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Nice day here. And a nice hand will be given to the Toronto Blue Jays pitcher, Brandon Morrow, with 2 outs in the top of the 9th. Just gave up an infield single.
And now he's in danger of losing the game.
And Toronto's leading 1-0. The no-hitter is gone. It was a ground ball to second. And Barmes hits a line shot right at the chest of Talbot for out number 1. So the no-hitter gone. 8 2/3. Pretty good, but everybody wants that last out. Evan Longoria was the guy that broke it up with a ground ball to deep second.
Going the other way.
Brandon Morrow almost. Longoria said, no, we're not going to get no hit again. Carlos Gonzalez, nobody on, 1 out. Gonzalez has homered today, hit a 2-run shot in the 1st. Doubled in another run in the 2nd inning. He's 2 for 3. Stolen a base today. Scored twice. Two and 0. Has this been the year of the no-hitter?
It seems like it. There's been a lot of
5 of them. Almost 6. Almost 7 now when you look at it. There should have been 6. If not for the blown call at first in the game between Detroit and Cleveland. Armando Galarraga's nearly perfect game. And then today, 8 2/3 for Brandon Morrow. And Gonzalez whips another single. He's got 3 hits, the home run, the double, and the single.
He just hit for the cycle last weekend, didn't he?
It was against the Cubs on the 31st of July. Not only did he hit for the cycle, but he had a walk-off home run to win the ball game, to get the home run portion of that. And there's only been a few guys who have done that in baseball. The last guy to do it was Dwight Evans of the Boston Red Sox in 1984 against Seattle. Only 5 guys, including Gonzalez, have had the cycle with a walk-off hit. I mean, a walk-off home run. But just to show you how rare that is, back to 1984 for the last time.
That went in the upper deck too, didn't it?
It was a monster. Tulowitzki at the plate. Over first base, and Gonzalez back. Troy Tulowitzki out of Long Beach State. His former teammate Evan Longoria broke up the no-hitter in Toronto. McCutcheon's pitch. Strike call. Well, you've told the story before. You were, tell me if I've got this right. You were put in for defense. No hitter was going on. Kevin Groves.
Kevin Brown. Perfect game in San Francisco. He ended up getting the no hitter.
Base hit for Tulowitzki. Back-to-back singles now for Colorado.
Well, he seems to wear that hole out over there, Tulowitzki. Not always hard hit balls.
This was Gonzalez back on the 31st at Coors Field. Tom Gorzelani, the pitcher. That one off the top of the wall. Comes in for a triple. And this is just another double. And the game on the line. A walk-off home run. Completes the cycle. Only the 5th guy in Major League history to do it like that. It's a lot of fun. Saw one last night. Walk-off homer. That was the first one, Alvarez's walk-off homer, since the 23rd of May, when Ryan Domit walked off the Atlanta Braves here with one almost in the exact same part of the ballpark. Hit it up into Pedro's porch in right field over the Clemente wall. Moore fouls it away. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, maybe we'll get another one today. Certainly within striking distance. The Bucks have come back, being down 8-1. But I think it's important to shut down these Rockies.
Ball and 2 strikes. Just getting back to the game in Toronto. It's gone final now. Toronto beat Tampa Bay 1-0, and Brandon Morrow gets the complete game 1 hitter. But there'll be some grumbling from Blue Jays fans. The ground ball by Longoria went off the second baseman, Aaron Hill, ruled a single. And they're going to be barking for an error, but too late.
I'm trying to think if it was Bruce Keeson. I think it was Bruce Keeson.
Playable for Jeff Clement. Now that was called an infield fly by the home plate umpire, Eric Cooper. Ken Kay from Cheswick is the Make Your Day giveaway prize pack winner for the month of July. Ken won tickets to a Pirates game, autographed baseball memorabilia, and a gift certificate from Dave. You could be the next winner. So be sure to sign up now for the monthly drawing at FSNinsider.com.
Yeah, I want to say 79 or 80. Bruce Keeson had a no-hitter going, and it was broken up with a base hit in the 9th inning off the glove of second baseman Phil Garner.
Here's a a strike call to Chris Iannetta. Let's go back to that play a minute ago, Rock. First and second, one out. Infield fly rule in effect, and that little looper right down the line. The only guy to call the infield fly was the home plate umpire, Eric Cooper. First base umpire and crew chief Mike Riley did not.
Once it's called, everybody needs to start yelling infield fly.
Daniel McCutcheon is now through the top of the sixth. 8-4 Colorado. Jeff Clement's going to lead off the bottom of the sixth inning. 8-4 Colorado with the lead with John Wayner, Tim Neverett. The Pirate Armadas out there in the Allegheny today. Our in-game box score shows you that Jones without a hit, Clement without a hit, Cutcheon 0 for 1. The guys are hitting, and the Pirates trying to climb back into this one. Big first part of the game. 2 runs in the first, 4 in the second, 2 in the third. Rockies haven't had anything across since. Pirates single runs in the second, third, and 2 runs in the fifth inning. Two and one now. Jeff Clement out of USC. First round draft choice as a catcher out of USC by Seattle. He would be the guy used as an emergency catcher now that Eric Kratz has been sent back to AAA Indianapolis. In fact, while Jeff was in AAA Indy, he told the Indians manager Frank Kremlis he could use him as a catcher. In fact, when Kratz went up and they were short a guy, he started and caught an entire game during a doubleheader. Manuel Corpus, right-handed pitcher, warming up. Former closer. 2-2 to Jeff Clement. Strike 3 call.
Growing more and more confident with that breaking ball the later we get into this ball game.
What a break he's giving the Rockies too with this deep work.
Yeah, and you know that's the thing. You know, with a young guy that really struggled in his big league career, I thought Jim Tracy would be content getting 5 innings out of Rogers.
Backhanded by Tulowitzki. And throw dug out by Mora, and Cedeno's gone for the first time today. Ronnie now 2 for 3. And you know, a day off tomorrow. You don't have to use much of your bullpen. Short travel day, and they'll open a series on Tuesday against the Mets. So what Rogers is doing here is really sparing some arms, perhaps. Yeah. And what's Mora doing over there at first? Something with his shoe. Well, he's tying it. Maybe he had a rock in there or something.
If you get to see the baseball cleat with the Velcro, you know, just, you know, the 2 Velcro straps that go over.
Oh, instead of laces?
Yeah, instead of holding up the game. Ouch. That's interesting.
Daniel McCutchen plunked.
That's strange. I don't think there was any intent there, but that's not something you see very often.
And he's had good control all day long and then gets him right between the numbers.
I like it. I like when pitchers get hit with pitches, because then they think you can let them know how it feels to get hit by a pitch.
So you're saying they'll think twice when throwing one at somebody?
You would think.
Ball 1 to Andrew McCutchen. 1 for 3 today for Kutch.
I'd love to see Andrew make it hurt. Hit a 2-run bomb right here.
McCutchen has 9 homers, and all 9 are solo shots. Be nice to get one with a man on. That's one thing about the Pirates this year. The majority of their home runs have come as solos. And you have to think that obviously with a man or 2 on more often would have resulted in more wins eventually. Took the 2-0, 2-1.
Still throwing pretty firm. Rogers at 93 miles per hour. That was his first pitch of the game. The same velocity.
Foul back. Well, Rogers has given up just 3 home runs in the big leagues this year in limited duty. His first 2 came in 1 game against the Giants. Benji Molina and Juan Uribe on the 1st of May. There goes McCutchen. He takes off. Throw down. He's in there. Plenty of time. A stolen base for the pitcher, Daniel McCutchen. Yeah, he can run.
Rogers is so slow to the plate. He's about a 1/6 at the plate. So just about anybody with decent speed can run on him. You just don't expect to see it, but he was flying.
You don't see a lot of pitchers a straight steal of second. And now McCutchen pops this pitch up. Will it be playable for more? That's the question. Looks like it will be. He will make the catch. And that's going to do it for the Pirates in the 6th. We'll head to the 7th inning at PNC Park. Colorado 8 and the Bucks 4. Scagno, the Pirates got to deal with the Cubs last year. Made an appearance or two briefly and then was injured, had surgery on a rehab stint with the Bradenton Marauders. His numbers through 2 rehab starts. He'll have his 3rd start tomorrow against the Cardinals single A team, Palm Beach. That's the injury update brought to you by Allegheny General Hospital Sports Medicine, official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Show me the helmet. Looks good with the shirt.
That was me about 30 years ago. Loved the helmet. I loved it. That and the bat giveaway.
I didn't see the bat giveaway anymore.
No.
Daniel McCutchen, 1 ball and 1 strike to Ryan Spilborghs. That's in the dirt. McCutchen's stolen base, incidentally, was the first stolen base by a Pirates pitcher since Oliver Perez did it against Cincinnati on the 17th of May in 2006. To right field, here's Garrett Jones waiting. 1 out. Top half of the 7th. 8 runs on 11 hits for Colorado. 4-8 and 2. Each team with 2 errors today. 4 errors total in the ball.
And the umpires have 2 errors. I just was looking at that, just thinking to myself, and with the difference in this ball game. On a missed call back in the 2nd inning, it led to 3 Rockies runs.
Former Pirate Joe Beimel loosening up. One the count. Yeah, it'd be a whole different ball game than it is right now. And it wasn't as though they were close plays. That's the baffling part about it. Alvarez searching for it in a tough sky. 2 outs. And the pitcher will bat for himself, Esmil Rogers.
Wow.
You know, he's thrown 114 pitches already. And Jim Tracy will send him out there to hit in the top of the 7th. And that means he'll be.
Wouldn't that be something if he ended up wearing 1 hair?
Well, we'll see. I mean, McCutchen would have a perfect opportunity to make it even.
Yeah. I'm assuming he's done pitching. I just think that with nobody on, 2 outs.
And he's got himself another extra base hit. His 2nd career double. And it glances off of him. He had a thought about going to 3rd, but a 2-out double. 2 for 3 with a sacrifice bunt for Rogers.
Fastball away, going with it. And yeah, I think Jim Tracy thought of it like, well, my pitcher's probably done for the afternoon, but I don't have anybody on base. There's 2 outs. He swings it okay. Why use a bench player?
Rogers now going to want to hit more. Normally, Ulysses Chassin would be used in a situation to start. He was the guy that Rockies really liked, but he had pitched Thursday in AAA, so it wasn't on regular rest. And Rogers was. So he was the guy that got called up for today's assignment, replacing Aaron Cook, who was put on the disabled list on Thursday. Turf toe.
You don't see that much anymore. There's only a couple of ballparks with turf.
You can still get turf toe on grass.
Oh, it's natural turf toe.
Yes, natural turf toe. When you water it, it grows. You have to cut it once in a while. Fescue, Kentucky Blue.
Bermuda.
Dexter Fowler fouls that pitch away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, I guess that was an injury that came up when the old AstroTurf was around. They didn't really know what to call it. Call it turf toe. And now that nobody's using that same kind of turf anymore, they still call it turf toe. He doesn't care if it's turf toe, turf popcorn, turf ice cream. He just wants to eat it.
And turf toe's no fun.
I wouldn't imagine it would be.
No.
2-2 to Dexter Fowler. Rogers at second, and McCutchen deals. And Fowler goes to left field. It's be a tough play for Tabata, and he makes it right in the corner. Nothing across, and a man stranded. 7th inning stretch time. 8-4 the score. Pirates trailing Colorado. As Jose Tabata makes a nice running grab up near the wall down the left field line.
Not a lot of room down there in foul ground, and Tabata comfortable. He knew where he was as that ball goes into the glove, just about a half a strike before he hits the padding.
So it is time to stretch here at PNC Park, and today we bring you from Chelsea Hurt the singing of God Bless America.
Commander of the 3rd General Support Aviation Battalion, 25th Combat Aviation Brigade, and a medevac helicopter pilot. Major Dugas has been a member of the U.S. Army for the past 15 years and returned home this week from his 3rd tour of duty in Iraq in support of Operation Enduring Freedom.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
The 7th inning. Joe Beimel, St. Mary's, out of Duquesne, former Pirate, making his 50th appearance.
Get something going, chipping away. The Bucks getting base runners in every inning.
Jose Tabito will lead off. He has 2 hits this afternoon, a single and a double. I think Tabito is one of those players who would be a candidate to hit for the cycle at some point in time.
You would think.
He's got good speed. He's got triple speed. He doesn't have a triple yet in the big leagues. Puts this one up in the air behind second base. Tulowitzki grabs it for the out.
Jose, 21 years old for a couple more days anyhow. You wonder, is that power going to come? He just doesn't pull many balls in the air. Just the way his swing works.
Tabito is going to be 22 years old on Thursday when we're in San Diego. Still has a ton of time. Speaking of birthdays, today is Ross Ohlendorf's 28th birthday. So happy birthday to Ross Ohlendorf. Pitched well last night. Didn't get a decision. Here's Neil Walker facing Joe Beimel. That was one of Ross's best starts, and he was in line for a win. Bullpen let it get away, and then Alvarez was the savior in the bottom of the 10th.
Walker. Home run against Beimel out in Colorado.
Here comes the 2-1. Lifted to shallow right, and that'll be in for a base hit. Walker will stay at first with a single. For Neil Walker, that's his 21st multi-hit game. Go back to July 27th, our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. 8th inning, Beimel facing Walker. Walker, Beimel's former off-season catcher, and he drives it out of the ballpark in left center for a home run. The first of 2 home runs he hit in that series. That's the Cold Hard Blast, brought to you by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. And Neil, another hit off Beimel. 1-out single. And a throw to first, and Neil's picked off. Wow. It was almost as though you could see that move coming from this angle anyway, a long ways away. But Neil frozen, leaning the other way, and is picked off.
Yeah, in this situation, you have a one-way lead. You're going one way, and that's back towards first base until you see the pitcher go towards home.
And then Jones follows it up with a base hit. His first hit of the afternoon. And boy, you take that pickoff throw away. Pirates have something going in the 7th. Now 1 on with 2 outs instead of 2 on with 1 out.
Good move or not, I mean, you have a scouting report on pitchers and what their moves are like. You're down 4 late in the ball game. Your mentality is, I'm going back to first base until I see the ball released from the left-hander's hand.
Strike 1 to Pedro Alvarez. Jones a short lead at first, and Beimel works the third base side of the rubber. Delivers strike 2. It's the move to first base.
And, you know, from the center field camera, that view of it, it's easy for us to see. You know, for the viewer at home, it's easy for you to see from that angle that Beimel was going towards first. And when you're looking at the pitcher, from first base, it looks obviously a lot different, and it's a lot harder to read.
Alvarez lines out to Ian Stewart at third. Joe Beimel gets out of the seventh. For Rockies. I know it's hard to hang on, but wow, a lot of fun out there in the Allegheny today. Perfect day for it. Summer is, believe it or not, winding down, Rock. Kids going back to school sooner than we think.
That is hard to believe. I mean, it just flew by.
Here's Chris Resop, who's been very good so far in his 3 appearances. Claimed on waivers this week from the Atlanta Braves. One of 2 waiver claims. John Hope Park the other. So Resop becomes the 3rd pitcher used by John Russell this afternoon.
His 2 Pirate appearances. Inning and 2/3. A couple of strikeouts. The rest zeros.
Scoreless relief for Daniel McCutcheon. Good job there over 4 1/3 innings.
Yep, very good.
So Resop looking in, and he is facing Clint Barmas, the second baseman, 2-hole hitter, and he lines one down the right field line foul. Resop pitched for the last season and a half in Japan with the Hanshin Tigers, and was glad to get back to the big leagues. Says that playing in Japan is a good experience, but not for everybody. He was with the Braves in AAA, getting over an injury. Was pitching in Gwinnett in AAA. 0-2 to Barmas. Getting an opportunity with the Pirates to finish out the season in the big leagues.
The velocity has surprised me. 94, 95. I mean, that's a pretty good arm right there.
Well, Jeff Francis tossing. This must just be a side session for Francis. He is a starter and in the rotation. Francis is getting some extra work, and he's scheduled to go on Wednesday in New York against the Mets. One and 2 for Clint Barmas. You were a Hoosier. He was a Sycamore at Indiana State.
That was the baseball program in Indiana. Indiana State was a power back. I don't want to say a power, but you know, would wouldn't be surprising to see them ranked at least.
Well, they weren't in your conference when you played at Indiana, but did you guys play them regularly?
Yeah, we played them every year.
3-2.
It wasn't a big rivalry. Yeah, maybe a little more so for the baseball team than, but well, they were pretty good.
Well, Indiana State's in Terre Haute. You were in Bloomington. How far is that ride?
Oh, an hour and a half or so. Hour and a half, I think.
Not too bad.
I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
It's good for a weeknight game, Tuesday game in college. Or did you play them on weekend?
I don't remember. That was 25 years ago.
Your memory's fading on you.
Yeah.
3-2. Barmas again fouls it away. Well, most of the time the colleges will play their conference opponents on weekends.
Yeah, that's usually how it works. But I don't remember. If you play them early enough, you might play them on the weekend. You know, the Big Ten season, I don't know, it was only 5 or 6 weeks.
3-2 again. Walked him. And the next batter, Carlos Gonzalez, and he's had himself another day here. First inning, 2-run blast to center field. And in the second inning, an RBI double here, as he was able to get Barmas around. And in the sixth inning, a base hit. 3 runs batted in, 3 hits, 3 for 4, missing the triple for a cycle. That's hot. 489. That's not even fair.
And I'm guessing the, I don't know if the Oakland A's evaluated him or, that's, I mean, I sit here and think about that trade and I'm thinking, boy, the Oakland A's, these are usually the guys that they bring up and trade before their free agent year.
Well, he's putting up better numbers than Matt Holliday is in St. Louis. And keep in mind, there was another piece to that trade Colorado got. That was their closer, Houston Street. They also got that in the trade.
Yeah.
Oakland's got nothing left because they moved Holliday to St. Louis.
Unbelievable.
Another hit. 4-hit day. 2 singles, a double, and a home run. Carlos Gonzalez now has 6 4-hit games and leads the National League in that category.
And that's just smart hitting right there. I mean, out and around, holding the runner on at first base, big hole. But I'm trying to think of, who do you compare him to as a young player? I mean, Larry Walker, I'm thinking, as far as the power, the speed, the defense, the arm.
Let's not forget the arm. He almost threw Ryan Domet out on what normally would be a play Domet would score easily on, but he gunned it to the plate and made it a very close play. Domet beat it by a few fractions of a second. The Pirates' first run back in the second inning.
I think of Larry Walker, and I think when he wanted to play, when he was in Colorado, I think towards the end of his, last few years of his career, sometimes it didn't look like he really wanted to play. But when he was out there in his prime, I don't know if there was a better baseball player as far as the total package.
He wouldn't play Sunday day games.
Yeah.
Just because he played Saturday night and he wanted to play fewer games. So the last couple of years he was in Colorado, he pretty much had his say in the lineup. It was his choice, not the manager's. He just said, I'm not playing on Sundays. And so anybody who would go out and watch him as a fan or go to a game on a Sunday that wasn't aware of that, saying, gee, I want to see Larry Walker. They would get to see him all right, but he'd be on the top step of the dugout spitting sunflower seeds. And that's all you'd see of him. An occasional pinch hit performance, but that'd be it. Ray Sirich, pitching coach. coming out. Well, something Rock knows a lot about and likes very much, the all-you-can-eat seats at PNC Park. Just $35, 5 more on the day of the game, so get them in advance, save some money. You get an outfield reserve ticket, all-you-can-eat hot dogs, hamburgers, nacho, popcorn, peanuts, ice cream, and soda, and much more. Go back for more food and drinks as many times as you like. Available for every Pirates home game. For tickets, visit pirates.com/all-you-can-eat. I've got special wristbands for you, so you go to special lines. You don't have to wait in lines. Things like that. Two 2-0 to Troy Tulowitzki. And Chris Resop has runners at first and second. Pitch a strike. Speaking of food, saw Manny Sanguillen today. He was roaming through the clubhouse saying hello to people, and his barbecue out behind the batter's eye. Last night, they were churning out some sandwiches and barbecue, and they were smoking all night long out there. It smelled great. Yep. Here comes the 2-1. Yeah, it's 2-2. There's Manny's barbecue. Sizzling. Occasionally they'll stop by. Occasionally Manny will hand deliver stuff up here to the booth. I'm waiting. Brings a pulled pork sandwich up every once in a while. Oh, they're good. Tulowitzki hangs in there, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, the Rockies shortstop, 323. He's missed a lot of games, though. Missed 33 games with a broken wrist. Broken left wrist. And at the time, Clint Barmas and Jonathan Herrera shared the infield duties. Melvin Mora also. Mora has been a good utility addition for the Rockies, playing all over the infield. Barmas aboard with the leadoff walk. He is at second base. Carlos Gonzalez, his 4th hit of the afternoon, is at first. Here is Tulowitzki with nobody out and a 2-2 count. Chris Resop deals. Strike 3 call.
Tulowitzki not happy. Chris Resop, good location right there. Fastball perfectly placed. Had a little tail back. Started off the plate, just catching the corner.
Not much you can say or do. That's a helpless feeling, isn't it? Getting called out on a 3rd strike.
Yep.
Pitch you don't think is a strike, and on that borderline.
Well, like right there, that being borderline, you call that borderline. Again, in the 90s, that wasn't borderline. That might as well have been on a 1/3 of the plate. That was routinely called a strike.
Well, the National League strike zone was wider. Bob talks about this often. It just seemed like the American League strike zone was a little taller, and the National League strike zone was shorter and wider.
And I mean, again, depending on who you were facing on a particular day, I'm talking 8 inches wider. And certain guys got so much off the outside part. They'd never call anything off the plate in, very rarely at least. But you had to protect. And so when you had 2 strikes, you didn't protect that borderline pitch. You were walking back to the dugout like Tulowitzki just did.
2 strikes to Melvin Mora, along with the ball. Ray Searage, who normally is in the bullpen, but today, first day in the dugout. In case you joined us late, didn't get the news, the Pirates have let go 2 coaches. Pitching coach Joe Kerrigan and bench coach Gary Varsho relieved of their duties today. And when something like that happens and there's a change in the staff, how does that affect the players? And how can that affect the clubhouse?
Well, I think it's a bit shocking right away. You know, just like when we read it was like, wow, unbelievable. But I think it's business as usual. I think the guys are, a little taken a bit off guard, and they adjust to it. And a good fastball away. And Mora trying to protect. Comes up empty. But I think it'll affect perhaps the pitchers a little more than anybody else. You're directly involved with the pitching coach if you're a pitcher on a daily basis. So, pitchers will have to adjust. But, it's still baseball. You still go out and play the game.
Chris Iannetta takes a strike on the inside corner. I talked to Sean Gallagher before the game just to get some insight on Ray Searage, because in winter ball, Sean was a pitcher on a team in Venezuela that was managed by Carlos Garcia. And Ray Searage was the pitching coach. And he liked it. He liked playing for him. Liked pitching for him.
And Ray's obviously he's pitched at the big league level, minor leagues, up and down, every level. Pitching coordinator, which basically a pitching coordinator runs the entire minor league as far as the pitchers are concerned. He certainly has experience.
See Ray talking to Tony Beasley. No balls and 2 strikes. 2 on and 2 out. Barmes at second. And Gonzalez at first. And Resop, who's picked up a little steam in this inning, delivers 0-2. Check swing foul. Looks like it got Doman on the right shin guard.
Got a piece of him. We've seen that a lot. Ryan Doman is taking his share of foul balls off the basket this time. Inside of that right leg.
Now Iannetta awaiting another 0-2 pitch. Came after him and struck him out. So after walking Barmes and giving up a single to Gonzalez, Resop comes back and strikes out the side. Chris Resop, a new addition to the bullpen, getting it done. Chris Conklin of the Florida Marlins will undergo knee surgery on Wednesday. He's out. Joe Mauer comes back. He's been DHing since late July with a shoulder problem. Started the catcher today for the Twins. Brandon Moore, we told you about his antics today. 8 2/3 no-hit innings against the Rays. Jeff Neiman and Wade Davis of the Rays sent back to Florida to be examined, both having some shoulder soreness. It's our Mazda in case you missed it. Bottom of the 8th inning here at PNC Park. Ryan Domit leads off. 8-4 Rockies. Joe Beimel stays on. And that'll turn Domit around to bat right-handed against the left-hander. Domit 1 for 3 and a second inning double. Came across to score the first Bucks run. One outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Pirates got a single run in the second, another in the third, and then 2 in the 5th. Rockies had big innings in the first, second, and third. 2 in the first, 4 in the second, and 2 in the third. They've hit zeros since. 3/4 swing for Ryan Domit for a strike.
Need base runners here. Still have 6 outs. You never know.
Popped him up. And this will make the seats. Strike 2 to Domit. Now 2-2 from Beimel. Domit familiar with him. What do you look for here?
Well, you're protecting. You're looking for a pitch, and Beimel typically stays away from you. And flip a slider or change up out there. But you're just in protection mode.
Yeah, he got him.
It's a changeup. Stayed away.
Beimel strikes out Domit. There's 1 away in the Pirates' half of the 8th inning. Lastings Millage is going to come up and hit for Jeff Clement. The Pirates will get a right-handed bat against the lefty Beimel. Assume the corresponding move would put Jones at first and Millage out and right.
Millage will not get to face the left-hander Beimel. Jim Tracy out of the dugout. Call for the right-hander.
Tracy coming to get the baseball from Joe Beimel. Columbia Gas 8-1-1 call to the pen has been made by the visiting skipper. Right-hander coming on to face Millage.
Ball on FSN Pittsburgh is brought to you by AT&T. Rethink possible. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day.
Downtown Pittsburgh on a Sunday afternoon. Pirates trailing the Rockies 8-4. Bottom of the 8th. With John Wayner, Tim Neverett. Here's Matt Belisle. Right-hander to face Lastings Millage. Millage up as a pinch hitter. Millage batting for Jeff Clement. More Matt Belisle makes his 52nd appearance.
A lot of innings. A lot of strikeouts.
Belisle pitched last night. He pitched Friday. So the third appearance out of 4 games in this series. And a bullet up the middle by Milic. Pinch hit single for Lastings Milic.
And once again, the Bucks with a base runner. Every inning, they managed to scratch together 4 runs, and you never know. Keep getting them on there, maybe somebody will pop one.
Barrett's trying to scratch together 4 more runs at least over the next inning and a third, inning and 2/3 perhaps. Cedeno fouls the first pitch back, 0-1. Delwin Young out on deck. He'll pinch hit in the 9 spot for the pitcher Chris Resop. How about Resop? Been pretty good since he's arrived.
Yes, he has. He's just given up just the 1 hit, 1 walk.
Those are the only men to reach base since he's arrived.
Out it up after the first 2 batters reached in the top of the 8th inning.
John Ho Park getting loose. He made an appearance his first day here on Friday night. Pitched 1 inning, got hung with the loss. And a 6-3 Rockies win. John Ho Park claimed on waivers from the New York Yankees. Designated for assignment by the Yankees. Things didn't work out for him. And now he gets another opportunity here with the Pirates. Oh, 0-2 to Ronnie Cedeno. Good block by Iannetta. Milic unable to go anywhere.
Trying to get Ronnie to fish. And that ball right there, a little too far out of the zone.
1 out, 1 on. 1-2. Cedeno wouldn't chase it high. Takes ball 2. Belisle looking to elevate that fastball against Cedeno. Cedeno wouldn't bite.
Cedeno with a couple of hits today. Hopefully that's going to start that hot streak.
That's backing out of play.
Watch Ronnie Cedeno, and kind of a head scratcher at times. You see him just be on fire. You can't get the guy out. He's driving balls, hitting them out of the park, doubles. Then he has that dry spell.
Facing Matt Belisle out of Austin, Texas. Bounces away from Iannetta, and down to second base goes Milic. Fastball charge to Iannetta.
Just get it out of the glove.
Gives Cedeno an RBI opportunity now. Three and 2. That's the count. It is full to Cedeno. Milic at second base. And 1 man out of the bottom of the 8th. Cedeno down on strikes.
Took something off. A little slider there, I think. Cedeno, I think, was counting on a fastball right there. Didn't get it.
Delwin Young will hit for the pitcher, Chris Resop. Young pinch hit last night in the 8th inning and got a base hit. Came around to score. Proved to be a pretty pivotal run. It's his 13th pinch hit that he collected last night. One hopper down to second base, and Barnes throws him out. We'll go to the 9th inning. Through 8 at PNC Park, the score, Colorado 8 and the Pirates 4. Strikes out Tulowitzki, gets Morris swinging, and then got Iannetta. So 1, 2, 3. Once he finally got ready to go. And the new pitcher on for the Pirates, also a waiver claim, Chan-Ho Park.
Chan-Ho, really good last year. I'm saying he wasn't good this year, but it seemed like that, his time in Philadelphia, he was as valuable as anybody on that team. Thrown in a lot of tough situations, would pitch multiple innings.
17 years in the big leagues. Signed as a free agent out of college. He was a sophomore in college in Japan when the Dodgers came calling. Face Ryan Spilboards, Ian Stewart, and the pitcher spot. So 7, 8, 9 for the Rockies here in the top of the 9th. 8-4. Colorado with the lead, trying to split this 4-game series. Pirates, regardless of what happens today, will have won the season series against Colorado. Village in right field, and Garrett Jones moves into first base. 2-0 pitch. Spilborg's up in the air to right, and Millage over near the line. Makes the catch and foul ground. Time now to look at the road ahead, brought to you by your Western Pennsylvania Toyota dealers. Toyota moving forward. Day off tomorrow. It's travel day to the West Coast, and the Pirates will take on San Diego on Tuesday. Jeff Karsten's a San Diego native. Take on Wade LeBlanc, 9:30. Then it'll be McDonald and Correa, Duke and Garland, Wednesday and Thursday. Coverage begins with the Trib Total Media Pirates pregame show each night, a half hour before the first pitch. There's Stewart. Line shot up the middle and a base hit. 1-out single for the Rockies' third baseman. Seth Smith will be the pinch hitter in the ninth. Looking forward to going back to San Diego?
Oh, yeah. Always nice to visit. The only bad thing is I can't run. That's always my favorite thing. Get up and go running along the water there.
Oh, it's a great place for that, too. Sorry, you've got the broken foot, but you're not wearing the boot anymore. It's not quite as broken.
There's doctors listening in, watching.
Oh, well, he's got the boot. He just took it off temporarily.
Dr. Snell yelling at me.
It is a great place to run and walk, and right behind the hotel all along the water.
Yep.
Looking across at Coronado Island. 2-0, that's the count. 1 out here at the top of the 9th. But Karsten's going home. San Diego, California is where he grew up. Played high school and junior college baseball there, then went on to Texas Tech. And there's another guy who was a catcher, drafted as a catcher. Turned into a pitcher.
Well, he's done a good job this year, Jeff Karstens.
Now ball to first. Jones gloves, throws to second. Sedane will have to go back and step on the bag as the throw is well off. It's just 1 out on the play, and Smith reaching on the fielder's choice.
Good job, actually, by Ronnie Cedeno. You know, you never know if he's thinking maybe he'll get the neighborhood play and unleash and throw to first. But, oh, yeah, he was well off. He had to go back and make sure of one. You see Garrett Jones here.
Stewart stopping.
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad play either in his base run. He might confuse a defender.
Well, I think it was a situation where I think Stewart thought that Garrett Jones may have tagged the bag. Like the ball was hit down the line where, you know, Jones tagged the bag and threw it, to which, you know, you would have to tag the runner out. That's the only thing I could think of is why he would put on the brakes.
Dexter Fowler has 2 hits today. Scored a pair of runs. Pirates and Rockies meeting for the final time in 2010. Still 2 teams the Pirates haven't played. Florida Marlins and the New York Mets. And they come in on the next homestand.
That's amazing.
As well as St. Louis. A long homestand next time. Plenty of opportunities to see the Bucs. That is right after the next road trip to San Diego and Houston. Popped up. Alvarez with Cedeno backing him up, and Cedeno makes the catch in fair territory. Pirates down to their last wraps. Bottom of the 9th coming up. It's 8-4 Rockies. Garrett Jones trying to get a man on a forced play. Threw it into the outfield yesterday. He and infield coach Carlos Garcia working with a dummy in the way. He says just like that. Again today, a similar play.
It looked like he had Garrett moving in towards the grass to get out of the runner's way, so the runner isn't in the way. I mean, I'm not exactly sure what they were working on there, but certainly a couple of errant throws from Garrett Jones, and as you saw Carlos working with Garrett Jones, they put the dummy out there in the middle, I guess, to look like a runner, and looked like he had Garrett kind of taking a quick shuffle inside to avoid it. Well, hopefully that'll get all ironed out.
Rafael Betancourt, the new Rockies pitcher, fourth pitcher used by Jim Tracy this afternoon. Esmil Rogers, kind of a story, called up from AAA to make this spot start. Aaron Cook placed on the disabled list on Thursday. He went 6 innings. Struck out 2, gave up 8 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned, and is in line for the victory. Andrew McCutchen trying to put a stop to it. Top of the order up against Rafael Betancourt. A rough start for Paul Maholm today. Only 2 2/3 innings, 8 runs, 6 of them earned.
From the word go, pretty much, Paul. Walking the leadoff hitter Fowler just could not command the ball the first couple of innings.
Strike 2 call. Betancourt grazing the outside corner. McCutchen staring in disbelief. Nothing in 2 the count. In the dirt, 1 ball and 2 strikes. San Diego on top of Arizona right now, early, bottom of the 2nd in Phoenix. Arizona has won the first few games of that series. They're looking at the possibility of sweeping San Diego. McCutchen high in the air to right. Drifting back Spilborgs. But he's got a handle on it for the first out of the 9th inning. I invite you to stay tuned for the AGH Sports Medicine Pirates postgame. Our team is standing by with extended highlights and analysis of this game. Plus, get the honest answers to your Buccos questions when you ask Teak. The AGH Sports Medicine Pirates postgame is next on FSN. 1 down at the bottom of the 9th. Milwaukee's put 11 up on Houston today. They're in the bottom of the 7th. 11-4 Brewers leading the Astros.
Well, the Brewers seem to be feast or famine.
They've got an offensive lineup, though.
Yes, they do. Especially the top 5.
St. Louis is in Miami taking on the Marlins, but rain is delaying that one. Philly has beaten the Mets today 6-5. And Atlanta knocks off San Francisco 5-3, which is good news for Colorado, chasing the Giants in the National League West. If they hang on here, they will pick up a game on the Giants. Giants in 2nd place behind San Diego. Cincinnati leading Chicago at the top of the 8th, 10-4 at Wrigley Field. Talbot fouls this one away. Count stays 0-2. Early on, Dodgers and Nationals, top of the 2nd at Dodger Stadium, 4-2 LA. Now that's a hat. That's like one of those college football all-star game hats where you get all the stickers on.
I like it.
He used every number. Another foul ball.
Jose's good at wasting pitches.
Jose using one of the local bats from Brookville. Maple bat. Oh, and 2 the count. And a pitch to Tabata. Again fouled away.
Another one wasted. He just always looks so relaxed and unfazed by anything that comes his way. It's like, oh, ho-hum. I'll just keep filing pitches off till I get the one I like.
This time it's in fair territory, but the second baseman, Clint Barnes, gets underneath it for the out. Pirates down to their final out this afternoon. Neil Walker will be the hitter. Oh, nice story developing in Baltimore. The Orioles have beaten the White Sox 4-3. They are 5-1 since Buck Showalter took over.
Something like that. I know they won their first 4 with him. Well, they lost last night.
Winning today by a run. Pitch to Walker coming up from Rafael Betancourt. And a strike. Minnesota beat Cleveland today 5-4. Toronto 1-0 over Tampa Bay. Almost a no-hitter for Brandon Morrow. 8 2/3 innings of no-hit baseball. Evan Longoria broke it up. Close but no cigar. 1-1 to Walker. And one game tonight, Boston and New York. They got a 4-game series. And yesterday they played a day game. Tonight it's a night game. And then tomorrow a day game. So night, day, in that 4-game series.
If I'm not mistaken, this is the other guy Walker took deep out in Colorado. Got a high fastball. Hit it out into the right field seats. Betancourt, who is in no hurry.
He's got a day off tomorrow. He's not in any rush. 2-1 pitch. Outside, 3-1. Neal continuing to climb in many categories as far as the rookie statistics are concerned. Batting average and hits, runs scored, total bases, multi-hit games, doubles. He's on all those lists. On base percentage, slugging percentage, extra base hits. 24 of those. And he whips this one down the right field line foul. 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth, comes down to a full count, 3-2. Pirates down to their final strike today. Trailing 8-4. And a good job by the bullpen today. Daniel McCutcheon, 4 1/3 scoreless innings. Resop and Park not allowing any runs. Rockies got all their runs in the first 3 innings. Payoff pitch from Betancourt to Neil Walker. Melvin Mora, he'll handle it himself, and that'll be the ball game. Pirates and Rockies split this 4-game series, 2 apiece. Pirates win the season series 4-3. And we'll end this homestand, a day off tomorrow. And out to the West Coast and on the road starting on Tuesday. So 14 hits for the Rockies, 11 for the Pirates.
One of those afternoons where it just didn't get off to a very good start. They tried to mount a bit of a comeback. Got runners on every inning but the 9th, and it just couldn't get enough big hits to come back.
Well, that does it for today's game coverage. Our next telecast of Pirates baseball will be Tuesday night from San Diego when the Pirates and Padres play game 1 of their series. Karstens and LeBlanc, the pitching matchup. Our coverage begins with the Trip Total Media Pirates pregame show at 9:30. Then Greg and Bob will have the call at 10 right here on FSN Pittsburgh. Final score today, Colorado 8 and the Pirates 4. For John Wayner, I'm Tim Neverett. Stay tuned. Pirates postgame comes up next.